Now Samuel had died, and all of Israel had mourned him and then buried him in his hometown of Ramah. Saul had expelled all the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead. The Philistines had assembled and set up camp at Shunem, while Saul had gathered the Israelites and set up camp at Gilboa. But when Saul saw the vast Philistine army, he was afraid, and terror filled his heart. He asked the Lord what to do, but the Lord did not answer him, not in dreams or by sacred lots or by prophets. Samuel then asked his servants, "Find me a woman who is a medium, so that I may go and ask her what to do." And his servants answered, there is a medium at Endor. So Saul disguised himself and put on other clothes, and at night he and 2 men went to the woman. And Saul said to her, "Consult a spirit for me, and bring up the one for me that I name." And the woman said to him, "Why? Are you trying to get me killed? You know that Saul has outlawed all the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead. Why are you setting a trap for me?" And Saul swore to her by the Lord and said, "As surely as the Lord lives, you will not be punished for this." And the woman asked, Whom shall I bring up for you?" "Bring up Samuel for me," he said. But when the woman saw Samuel, she cried out to the top of her voice, "Why have you deceived me? You are Saul." But the king said to her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" I see an old man coming up out of the ground." And he asked, "What does he look like?" "An old man wearing a robe is coming up out of the ground," she said. Then Saul knew that it was Samuel, and he bowed and prostrated himself with his face to the ground. And Samuel said to Saul, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" And Saul said, "I'm in great distress because the Philistines are fighting against me, and God has turned away from me. He no longer answers me, not by prayers or by visions or dreams or prophets. So I called on you to tell me what to do." And Samuel said to Saul, "Why do you call on me now? Now that God has turned away from you and become your enemy. The Lord has done to you just what he predicted through me. The Lord has torn his kingdom out of your hands and given it to one of your neighbors, David. Because you disobeyed the Lord and did not carry out his fierce wrath against the Amalekites, the Lord has done this thing to you today." the Lord will hand over both you and the Israelites to the Philistines. And tomorrow, you and your sons will be with me. The Lord will also hand over the army of Israel to the Philistines. And immediately, Samuel fell full length on the ground, filled with fear because of Samuel's words. He had no strength left because he had eaten nothing all day and night. The woman went over to Samuel, went over to Saul. And when she saw that he was terrified, she said to him, "Look, your servant has been obedient to you. I have taken my life in my hands and done what you told me to do. Now, please listen to your servant and let me give you some food so that you will get strength and go on your way." Saul refused and said, "I will eat nothing." Then his men joined in with the woman in urging him to eat, and he listened to them. And he got up off the ground and sat on the couch. The woman had a fatted calf at her house, and she quickly slaughtered the calf. She took then dough, flour, and kneaded it, and baked bread with no yeast. Then she took the food and set it before Samuel and his men, and they ate it. That same night, they got up.